Welcome back to the Capture Your Confidence podcast. We are here talking about a thing I cannot believe we have never talked about on this podcast episode.
I know, the cycle.
The cycle and how it makes you forget all of your confidence.
Yes. And what to do when you need to perform when the cycle happens.
Like, guys, I don't know why I have been cycling for, let's call it 30 years, and I still can't seem to realize when my mental clarity dips, like when my confidence dips, and then 2 days later, my period shows up, that there's a correlation.
Yes.
Why are we not cognizant of the fact that this is obviously going to impact us?
Yeah. You know, we talk a lot about other ways that your body changes, right? I mean, I feel like that's very mainstream, certain things to eat or not eat or whatever to accommodate certain parts of your cycle. But we don't really talk about the mental part, the confidence part.
And if I look at this from a client and a friend perspective too, I can tell when my clients and my girlfriends are getting ready to start their period based off of the way they're phrasing things. Like I can tell they're in a mental slip or they're freaking out or they've lost their confidence. And I'm like, oh shoot, your period's are coming. But like for some reason I can't do that for myself.
Right.
I notice it all the time, especially just like second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do you do this where when you're close to your period and maybe you haven't realized that that's what's going on and you start to question everything you're doing? Like, is this good enough? Is this right? Do I know what I'm doing? Should I burn this whole thing down?
Yes. And the comparison picks up.
Yeah.
I think big time.
Totally. I don't know why we haven't as a collective figured out that our period is here.
Yes.
To just take us down at the knees when it comes to our confidence.
Right. Yes. And I think, at least with this awareness, then we can do something with it.
So are there any things that you do with regularity around your cycle in terms of your mental health? Like things that help protect the fact that you're a little bit more fragile?
Yes. So I will say, and it starts the whole other times of the month, is being really consistent with supplements, right? So this is, not medical advice, but, go get your labs done and things that you're deficient in. Be not deficient in those. A big one for me is iron, which is directly impacted when you're on your period. And so that deficiency was impacting a lot of areas of my life. And for sure, one of them was comparison and confidence and mental clarity.
Which, by the way, you would never think, I'm struggling with comparison, I need to check my iron levels. Right? But you just don't know how those certain things in your bodies are impacting you until you maybe talk to a professional who actually knows what the hell they're doing.
Yes. And it's all connected. So making sure that the rest of the month is spot on in terms of supplements, right, is a very big one. Then recognizing on the calendar, so tracking it. So now I do use the app pretty religiously now. And so I can tell like, oh, this is going to be a week or a couple of days where you may have to just give yourself a little bit of grace because you're not going to show up the way that you're used to.
It's like the running joke in our household that I am a prickly pear the couple of days prior. And then like the minute that I start my period, it's like Brian knows because I just walk up to him and hug him. And he's like, the minute that your period starts, you're a dream. It's just like the couple of days prior where you don't know your period is getting ready to start, but I know, and I can't call it out because if I do, I'm going to lose my life, which is partially true. But one thing I will notice, like, because I am not tracking, and I'm going to start tracking now just because this is stupid. I am 40. I should know when my period's coming. But I will notice my body, like I'm exhausted. So I'll sleep for like 12 hours for the nights leading up to my period. And like in the morning when we get the kids off to school, normally I'm like up and at 'em. I will actually lay back in bed for an extra 30 minutes on those days leading up to my period. And then I'm like, oh, surprise, surprise.
That's why. Yes. And I mean, we are recording this while we are both on our periods. And I think you do, after a while, once you start to recognize it and make some accommodations, you figure out how to rally pretty quick.
Well, we live in an environment where we have to rally. I think, unfortunately, it's just like a learned behavior.
Yeah.
I wish that we lived in a society where women could just kind of hermit a little bit and not have to, but we push through because, quite frankly, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. But the other thing that I was thinking about today is like, I have a daughter who does not yet have a cycle, but it won't be long. And so I don't really want to show her the look of a woman who literally has no idea what's going on with her body, and the woman who doesn't like listen to her body when she needs rest or whatever. And so we're pretty open with period talks in our house.
Same.
Uh-huh.
Same. I do think that's a really big piece of the puzzle too.
Especially with our son. Like, yep, you got to know what's going on here. Like, buddy, I'm tired. I don't have it in me today. I'm on my cycle. He's like, oh God, are you on your puberty? I'm like, yep. Okay.
That's the one.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, some of the other things that I notice that happen whenever my cycle is coming, and I think this is from a professional level, just so important. I am short. I am really short when I'm getting ready to start my period. And so being careful about taking time to respond instead of responding on the fly, and giving myself a minute to really like reread things. I'll also notice that I make a lot of assumptions, and I'm moving so fast in my business that when I'm on my cycle, I make assumptions. Like if I just slowed down and read a little more clearly, I would have like caught the detail that made me not so mad. Right. Yes. And so just really trying to slow down, even though it feels like I don't have the time and space to do it, to avoid communication errors, which are prone to happen when you're spicy.
Yeah. And it helps prevent things from snowballing.
Yeah.
Because you know this is just going to be a couple of days, and then you're going to get right back to where you were. And so it's just that awareness, and then making those small tweaks for a couple of days until you get back to your regulated state.
And this might not be the most professional take, but I work with only women. So I will literally tell my clients when I'm on my period, like, hey, I told my team literally yesterday, hey, that probably sounded a lot shorter than I intended it to sound. I'm on my period. I apologize. I literally just said that, and they're like, oh, and we move on with our life. Right. Because I listened back to my voice and I'm like, dang girl, you sound sharp. And like, I didn't intend to. I'm just like, ugh.
Yes. But can we just take a moment, even how you said that, that's years of confidence work and the ability to listen to it, pause, and repair.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
I mean, there was certainly a time where we would have just kept on trucking. And now to have that awareness to listen, to stop, fix it, and then move on.
Well, even having, you know, if you listen back to your voice, I think a lot of people will do that. They'll listen back, but the problem is they'll mentally spiral. Instead of fixing it, they'll be like, oh my God, do they hate my guts now because I was such a bitch?
Yeah.
When instead you could just be like, hey, I apologize. Like that sounded worse than I don't feel as frustrated as that sounded.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So you spend a lot of energy making up a story about how they're going to perceive what you did in a moment where you weren't even necessarily in control of how you were responding. And the other thing that I think is really interesting about this, one of my clients who is in like neuro identity work and just like rewiring the way that you think about and talk to yourself, she always says that thoughts are options, not facts. Her name is Tracy Litt. You should look her up. She's amazing. But I have to catch myself being like, oh, whatever story it is that I'm telling myself, whether I'm getting ready to start my period, on my period, or in my phase where I'm crushing it, right? That's a narrative I'm choosing to buy into. I don't have to subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yes. I mean, what a useful skill in all areas, right? Outside of period time. In
So
all areas.
let this be the sign to maybe start tracking your cycle if you're not.
Yes. I'm a little shocked to hear this about you right now, but
To be fair, I used to track my cycle whenever it was childbearing time, but now that it's not and I don't have to worry about it, it felt like a thing that I could easily be like, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't need to know. But as it turns out, knowing what's happening with your body is quite valuable. So maybe
Actually
we
useful.
get back on that train.
yes. And hopefully too, if you are listening to this and you think back to times where you have been on your period or a couple days before and have not given yourself the grace that you need, hopefully this episode helps you give yourself that grace.
And one other thing that I want to say is that if you are getting older, like if you're in your 40s, it is getting worse.
Yeah.
And that is okay. You're not crazy.
Yes.
It is getting harder.
Yes. Yep. Co-sign.
Okay. We love you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.